Hi friends, so this is Griselle again with Psychic MD, and I wanted to do something slightly different this time. So we're going to go ahead and get messages from a secret admirer. Now, you could be partnered right now or not partnered. It doesn't make a difference. We all know people look, they're not dead just because they're partnered. So I want to give you a chance to choose from pile 1, pile 2, or pile 3. I did pre-shuffle just to save a little bit of time on camera. I want you just to focus energetically and see what comes up for you and what resonates, okay? Now, one thing that I want to say that's important is I get a lot in the comments like, well, I don't know who that is. Well, I don't go anywhere. Well, nobody says anything. Now, we all know that I have no control over whether they approach you or not. That is strictly and entirely up to them. One thing that you can do is make sure that your energy is cleared of all blockages. I'm actually getting an image of a fly in my mind's eye right now. And so it's going to be really important that you just don't kind of like fly off and do this and that, but collect your energy, call back your energy, and open it up to love and abundance and anything that's going to be positive minded for you, okay? But just because you're open for love or anything like that does not mean that the person eyeballing you is going to be open to come forth. All right, moving on. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start with this, which is pile 1. I'm going to move these guys out of the way for now. And let's just see what happens here. Okay, I have a problem with this card right off the bat. Soulmate. Okay, so it says, yes, this is your soulmate. Now, with soulmates, I really believe that a lot of them can be platonic. It doesn't necessarily have to be romantic. I am doing a romance reading, obviously. So this is more indicative of somebody who is romantically interested or attached to you or eyeballing you, whatever you want to call it. It is definitely somebody who wants to come forward, that they feel like there's this deep connection with you. If you look at the surface of where they're sitting right now, it's extremely like, it doesn't look super comfortable, okay? And it feels to me like where they're at right now, they're not super comfortable. They're admiring you and they feel like this really deep connection, and yet they're not comfortable. It could be like they're not in a place where they're comfortable, in a situation that they're comfortable, or they're simply not comfortable with themselves. Okay, I do see an establishment back here. It reminds me a little bit of I guess courts and things like that. So your person can potentially be married, and that makes it a really difficult position for them to be in, or they could simply be just brutally shy and unable to come forward. They could be in another connection, or some legal issue is keeping them from approaching you. We'll see where this goes, okay? Next card I have for you is stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. So if you're in a current connection right now, it's going to be really imperative for your relationship to stay positive about your romantic relationship, even if you're having troubles and tribulations, even if you're connected currently with your soulmate. But it's going to be important to open up your energy and just to stay optimistic. I know that I personally have a struggle with staying optimistic about my love life, but positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. And look, we've got little buds. Little buds. I was dressing the candle, and she's in fact giving flowers and offerings up to presumably a person that we can't see here. So it's going to be really important even just to offer up that energetically up to like the heavens or the spirit or God, whoever your higher source is, and keep those channels open, because it's easy. Like if you're negative, it's going to be like this great big wall right here. Nothing can come forth, even though this is greenery. It just seems so pitch black. It could even be like an old dying tree, like we don't really know. So you want everything to be thriving and green and lush and beautiful and growing constantly. So we don't want to stay in a stagnant energy. So keep being positive and optimistic and keep offering, I guess, yourself energetically in a wise way. I'm not saying just to waste your time on people. Obviously, if you're on the dating scene, if you're dating, you know, people from social media, or if you're on any of the like Match or Plenty of Fish or OkCupid or whatever Hinge is out there, it's going to be really important that you make your offerings in a wise way and energetically open up yourself to people. You can get a vibe for, you know, who is going to be a waste of time and who will not. So enough said. Anyways, so this basically is going to be somebody who's been eyeballing and admiring you. Birthing a new age, birthing new creations, dreaming a new world into being. And so this is basically like co-creating. These are the new cards. I thought I bought the Starseed, but I did not. Work Your Light Oracle cards by Rebecca Campbell. And I love the artwork. And look at the circle right here. So clearing out and creating a very sacred place. And right now, like if there's no love in your life, or if you're looking, or if you've just given up, whatever the case may be, it can be important to clear out your area. Maybe there's a lot of clutter around you that you need to clear out. So that could be a physical thing. Also clearing out old energies. I think about like the current state of the world and how things are really going. That could be part of the process, but mostly she is communing with spirit and getting her personal power back and calling her personal power back. We just like talked about this a second ago. So I love that for you. This also almost like if I looked at this kind of like a conch shell, even though it's more of a circle, I feel like you can actually start listening at what people are saying and get an idea for who is actually admiring you. And listening, yeah, it could be over text or and over, you know, phone calls or emails or whatever the case may be. But you really want to listen and pay attention and get into like that sacred space where you just feel juicy within yourself. You feel like you're co-creating with the universe, and ask for what you want. Birthing new creations means, you know what? I don't want the stagnation of what I've had before. So if you're in a connection right now, then you want to just bring this into being, and calling the juiciness of life. If you are not, then you want to clear out some space in your life. Maybe clear out a dresser drawer, part of the closet, part of where your shoes go, anything like that, so that energetically you have room and you're making room for something new. But ask for what you want, which is part of the birthing process, and dreaming a new world into being also. It's all inclusive in there. It's going to be good for you to maybe wear like pinks or soft tones like that, just to call in this energy, especially if you're not feeling it. I think it'll really help you. Moving on. Awakening. So energy upgrades, a new way of being, and integration. This card is like really powerful. Look at the moon cycles. And there's definitely like, you know, even in sleep, we're, some of us are awakening, getting our energetic upgrades from spirit, and that can, you know, it can be a bunch of different things. Like from the dream state, I feel like a lot of us are waking up from the dream state. But for example, if you're having a lot of dreams that appear really different than they ever have been before, it's going to be important for you to log those down, write those down, because spirit's trying to tell you something. I see all these clouds and her being lifted above the clouds. Now, I don't think that this is like an alien abduction or anything like that, which can also kind of feel that way in some ways. But I think it's a very gentle awakening, and it's a, hey, have you looked around? Hey, have you looked beneath the surface? Hey, have you like awakened to the reality of what's going on around? And with that being said, what's the implication for you personally? And going beyond that, what does that mean as far as your love life goes? As far as like looking at the stars and bringing that into being, manifesting it into the now. So also, I'm getting that this person who's looking and admiring you can also be dreaming about you, okay? So maybe you're connecting in the dream state. That's interesting. I've actually never done that, so we'll see. Okay, 3 of Air. I feel like this person is protecting their heart. If you look, there's like some gossip. Maybe they're afraid of gossip. Maybe they've approached you before, or maybe they're just like afraid of what people will say. I do see a time clock right here, so there is a time factor. They're healing from some personal heartache. Maybe they have endured some like heartbreak, and they're afraid to actually kind of start anew and start things all over again. But they do have one little bird on their side that is crowned. These two are crowned, but I mean, I'd knock those crowns down because they're just full of gossip and nothing. Now this one is kind of like a little angel on top of the angel's wings on top of her shoulders. So I feel like she is wearing a mask. So this person, he is just looking at you, and they're covering up their heart, and it's like just a lot of heartache in time. I feel like they need to move beyond the stage before they can really approach. There's a lot of nebulous energy here, so maybe that's why they just want to meet you in dream state, okay? Or they fantasize about you quite a bit. Moving on, what else do we have? Ooh, Queen of Earth. Okay, so this is someone who actually really has a lot of feminine energy. I'm going to say it doesn't have to be like a female. It can be, but a lot of feminine energy, okay? This person wants to have like a really beautiful home, beautify it. Animals feel comfortable with them. Children feel comfortable with them. They feel like they love to be around nature. They're the most grounded around nature and plants. They could really admire things like that. And they're undergoing a manifestation into becoming more of this energy from the betrayal and the hurt. So more of a maturing, more stoic. They could be a little bit older than you, by the way. And I asked, what is it that they liked most about you? And I have okay, so the Nine of Wands, Caballo de Bastos. And so this talks about, it's like, you know, basically the Knight of Wands. This is the in and out energy. They really fantasize about having sex with you. There's a lot of passion. I think they're thinking of the harvest as well. I think that in order to connect with you, they would really love to like make love to you kind of roughly, not a lot of like romance initially. They just want, I don't know, they want to mess up your hair, okay? That's what I'm going to say about them. I'm trying to like keep it PG here. So that's what I have to say about pile number 1. I hope that makes sense. Pile number 2. Pile number 2. What's going on here? Give your relationship a chance. Work on your partnership. Interesting. So this is about someone who's admiring you. And it could be somebody that you work with currently. Maybe you're not even like giving them a chance, they're saying. But maybe even giving your partnership a chance from like a friendship stance. I see like the pink roses and stuff, which do indicate love. But they're like 3 little blooms. It's slow in coming, a couple blooms here. So it could be just a connection that like she's even turning her head away almost. It's like, no, I can't love that person, or I don't really want that person. And he's intent on her. So it could be somebody that is really just riveted and focused on you. And you know about this. I feel like you already know about this person. You're like, yeah, I don't want them. Well, this is about who is admiring you in secret, or maybe in your case not so secret, okay? So let's see where this goes. Look, worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. And so perhaps this is a time to like really have a little bit of an ascension in your thinking. Look at all the greenery back here, and all the purity, all the white is just really standing out to me in this card. And yeah, you know, I get divine timing and stuff like that. Could be like a major factor, but I also feel like motive and purity. Having a desire for someone that has like the same motive and purity of heart that you do, or vice versa. So I think that this person is saying, you know what, you're worth waiting for, even if you don't see me for who I am, for the potential that I am right now. I'm going to wait for you. You are totally worth waiting for. Now there's a little protective energy, protecting the heart chakra right here. In fact, protecting from head to toe. So I feel like there is a little bit of a protectiveness, but not because they want to do you harm. It's like they just don't want to be hurt, but they have a lot of like pure motives towards you, which is really cool. And it could be also that we're a little bit drawn to like the bad guy or the bad boy or something like that, and that kind of needs to fall away because that is just not really in line with you energetically or in line with what spirit wants for you. Okay, so the next card we have is Dance with Life. Do something to change your energy. And so, I mean, it's self-explanatory. If you can even, you know, get out some jams and start dancing in front of a mirror or in the living room while you're doing dishes, I don't really care what, but get that energy moving and flowing. If you don't know like what to do or how to do it, if you feel weird and awkward, you can lock yourself in the bathroom and watch like a video and imitate whatever moves they have. But really, it's just free flowing. It's flowing with life. Even going outside and dancing in front of the moon would be like a really great thing for those of you that are like really confident, or those of you that don't care, or those of you that have that ability. I feel like connecting to your intuition is going to be really important. The ground here does appear really, really desolate. So even if you're grounding yourself, it may feel like, you know what, there's just nothing here for me. Get in touch with your intuition because I feel like there's something that's fractured there. It's a separation. Anna, Mother of Jesus. Seeding the light, laying foundations and divine plans. So this actually does go in conjunction with this, where it talks about laying new foundations, and there is a divine plan. But look at all this rich lushness and people coming out to kind of celebrate that. You can't really see the figures super well. I think that there is more to come. But this like greenish blue hue really feels to me like heart chakra and throat chakra energy. So speaking your truth more and opening your heart a little bit more is going to really lead you into that laying of a foundation and open things up for you. Okay, I think you could have a connection to like the mystical, which is probably why you're watching this right now, and also like to Egypt. Fascinated with architecture or buildings and such like that. They could just kind of rivet your attention, and maybe you don't know why, but a lot of the building is also we're building relationships. So moving on. So temptation. So your person is saying, you know what, they're so tempted, they don't know if they can handle you. I'm just saying it how I see it. This little fairy, I mean, he or she got plumb tuckered out just eating from this apple. And it was like initially super exciting to find. They know that this is where the wealth is, this is where abundance comes from. But they feel like maybe eating from your apple, you can take that however you want, okay? Could be a little bit of a temptation and lead to their downfall. So they still feel like they're kind of protective of their heart. This is in line with what we talked about, that heart chakra, that self-protection. So you need to open up your energy a little bit more to allow other people to be able to come towards you. But there is a lot of love here, and they're so tempted, but they're afraid that basically you're going to wreck them. So I think of that like that song, you know, you better check yourself before you wreck yourself. Anyways, but a lot of green out here, a ton of like love for you. They're afraid, majorly afraid of rejection. The Four of Air, and this is why things are a standstill, why nothing is moving. Energetically, you're actually really shut down to this connection, or they feel that way. I have peacock feathers going on here, so they could be seen as like, oh, he or she is too pretty for me. They're too... Look at them kind of like showing off or showing their... You could be a little bit too flamboyant for them, and it has shut them down. I'm not saying dim your light for anybody. Do not dim your shine. That's not my point. But the point is, from the perspective of this person, is maybe they're taking a vacation or a separation or trying to step away from you a little bit. So if they've been eyeballing you online, they're like, okay, I need to get my grip and just kind of meditate and think about what it is that I want, or how do I become more attractive to the beloved that I'm eyeballing, and have the confidence to approach them. What do they really enjoy about you? Knave of Chalices. So right, I'm sorry. This cracks me up. I didn't look at the cards before I pulled them. So look at this. I mean, it's like he keeps writing messages. This person keeps writing messages to you, wanting to send them to you and getting frustrated with him or herself. They're like, okay, I can't send that. Scratch. I can't send that. Scratch. Delete that. Hold that. Pause that. And they keep like looking and trying to rework words, and they're just super frustrated, but he's still like wearing all the white that's reflected and kind of reminiscent of the cards that we already looked at. Okay, so right here on his mind is definitely love, it's romance, but there's a lot of frustration and wanting to approach you. Like they're all about you. They're burning the midnight oil or the midnight candle, just thinking about you and writing over and over like little messages like, oh hey, how you doing? Or no, that's not good enough, throw it out. Okay, oh wow, hey so and so, we haven't talked in a bit. Hey, do you want to grab a coffee and catch up? No, that sounds stupid, let me scratch that. Let me send a text. Oh well, that, you know, that's not good enough either. So they're super frustrated, they're in touch, and there's this big pregnant secret. Okay, I feel like they're doing this behind the scenes. Obviously, they're not letting you know that they're frustrated, but it's a communication that's frustrating them. They don't know how to approach you. They don't know, like, basically what to do. And here's a great mystery. The cat is playing with all the messages. So there could even be messages that maybe this person sent once or twice and that you did not receive or that you ignored, okay? Because here's a great mystery. The cat who knows everything, who's familiar for some of you, okay? Just playing with the messages. And they're like, well, that's pretty funny. So they could have fired off a couple of messages and thought, wow, that's trash because like she or he is just playing with my energy. And it's frustrating to them. So if you don't know who this person is, which is always a question, well, nobody's approaching me, well, nobody's talking to me, I don't know who that is, or nobody even looks at me, you don't know who's looking at you. Let me repeat that one more time so that's clear. You have no idea who's looking at you in a romantic way sometimes. Sometimes we have really good poker faces. How many times have you looked at people and thought, wow, they're really fine or whatever, and you just kind of stuffed it or masked it, it kept on going, okay? But this is someone who definitely has a lot of emotion towards you, and I still feel for a large part of you guys, for pile number 2, you know, there could be element of like playing with their emotions, at least they feel that way. So that's what I have. Don't play with people's feelings, guys, you know that's not nice. Okay, so here we go, pile number 3. And for some reason, I'm feeling intuitively that pile number 3 is the one that most people are going to be drawn to. And I don't know. I haven't looked at cards yet. So, pile number 3. Here we go. This could be the one. You've already met the romantic partner you seek. Okay. So for some of you, it's self-explanatory. This can totally be the one. You have met this person, maybe, let me move this so you can get a better look. Sorry, I'm playing with my equipment here just a little to get a better view. Anyway, so maybe I feel like there's been a little bit of romantic play. It doesn't have to be like anything deep and romantic, but a little bit of banter, like energetic intertwining is what I'm feeling. You've already met this person and they see you as like somebody who is high class, somebody not to be played with. And I'm glad that I'm not seeing like a ton of player energy at all in these readings. But they see you like they want to pedestal you. They want to hold your hand. They want to drink you up and look at you deep in the eyes. And those are all really good signs. There could be some form of a barrier, like perhaps I'm feeling for some of you guys, this is your boss or you are their boss, or you work together and there is a contract that you signed that you will not fraternize with the staff. I don't know what the deal is, but there's some romance going on. And whenever you guys get together, there's a little feeling of like giddiness and play and fun, even if you don't outwardly show it, because you got to be professional, right? These guys are like totally dressed to the nines. So let's see what else we have going on. Let your friends help you. Ask for help and accept support from others. So perhaps it's something that you need to bounce off ideas from your girlfriends or your close friends, your intuitive friends, whatever the case may be. But maybe it's a good idea to kind of ask, hey, what do you think of so-and-so or whatnot? Because this lady seems to be holding, it's almost like a crystal ball here. Let me see if I can get closer to that. You see that? They're like holding a crystal ball. And the little cherub babe is just kind of looking at her going, what? I mean, like, what more do you want to see? Do you not see that, you know, this is a good match or that they really do like you? So maybe you're trying to figure out a way around it if you have a contract with your company that says that you cannot date, or, you know, just for propriety's sake, you don't want to be dallying with staff or anything like that. Like, whatever you want to think of it, okay? So I feel like you do have helpers and people that have your best interests, and you're kind of covering all aspects of yourself. You're like, well, if I show interest or if I don't, or whatever the case may be. But the cherub is here. It's like, you know what? There's love on the horizon, so it could happen if you allow it. Nothing's easy, you guys, is it? The next card I have is the Great Gathering. So maybe you guys are going to have like a business meeting. Maybe you are having a Zoom. Those count too, by the way. Those are meetings. And perhaps that's something that, you know, like once a week you have a meeting with the higher ups and it's like 100 people in this meeting or whatever. So be sure, obviously, you know, you look your best, feel your best, open up your energy. But it says it's all coming together. Intuitive hits, soul tribe. So I feel like this person could really, really be part of your tribe. They could really see things the way you do, feel the way you do in a lot of things. And I'm not talking about just like personal interest and like personal sparks. I think you have something like deep going on. You can both have a deep appreciation for astronomy or astrology, whatever tickles your fancy. Geology as well, I feel like is featured here. Perhaps archaeology, anything like that. And I feel like you could perhaps even delve into mystical discussions, like what is out there. Like, for example, did you know that we can only see 0.00035% of what is out there? Like electromagnetic waves, that's the most that we can see. So what the heck, that's not even 1%, you guys. What if you can have or find something that really shows you the rest of it? And I'm not talking about like with x-rays or with like luminol, which kind of have a fancy towards that, but that's a whole different morbid topic. You know, there's a lot on the spectrum that we cannot see. And also perhaps I'm feeling like, because I just said that, maybe one of you is kind of on the spectrum, like autism or something like that, high functioning. There could be that, or there could be a child involved that is on the spectrum. But I feel like there's a really deep connection, even like talking about energy and electromagnetic fields. And so I would take those as like indication and affirmation that, yeah, that is your person. If you start sparking conversations like that, and it should happen organically. It should not be a forced thing, okay? Talking about wormholes, talking about space, talking about NASA, and why are they exploring space when initially they were exploring the oceans? And what happened there? So all of those things could be really interesting points of topics, perhaps even conspiracy theories that should be like a spark to both of you. Something that's like unique and different of that nature. But I feel like it's more of an elevated connection. And if you look right here, it's almost like little rays of electricity, like electromagnetic fields. So you could be discussing that as well, okay? So that's what I'm getting for this card. That's actually really, really cool. The next, Council of Light, divine orchestration helpers in a subtle realm. In the subtle realm. Wow. So what were we just talking about? And you guys, I totally shuffled these, did not even look to see what would come up. I wanted it to be totally organic. By the way, I have a crown just like this. Not a surprise, right? Because I'm a little bit extra. But look at this. these are all like incredible lights. I feel like these could be downloads, but these are helpers that have ascended, like ascended masters, councils of light. I feel like even a lot of those councils of light can be people on earth, maybe even each other, giving each other help, and messages and downloads from the divine. So I love that. I feel like you could have like a lot of deep spiritual talks about what's really out there, about religion, about spirituality specifically. And I feel like when you're communing with this person, because it doesn't even feel like just conversing. I feel like when you guys email or talk or you're around each other energetically, your vibration goes up. And I mean, I'm telling you, this is amazing. You could be talking about the ethers. All of those discussions can come into play. And I don't know, I think of how she's holding her heart chakra here. You could be talking about how you grew up in your religion, how some of you had to maybe hold back, and what you're feeling now. You could be talking about energetic healing with your hands and things like that. So this would be like really, again, a really spiritual connection. Four of water, that's Four of Cups. And look at all these pearls, the pearls of protection. But this mermaid, of course, she's submerged in water. She's a creature of the water. She's holding one specific pearl. And the Four of Water in this case, I feel like she's just holding on to things. And it's like, all right, I'm hanging on, I'm holding back, and I'm holding back this one pearl. I'm gazing into it, maybe gaining information and gleaning. I'm really making an assessment who I want to share this pearl of wisdom with, okay? I look at the scales, and yeah, I mean, she is, you know, part fish. And so scales are incredibly beautiful, but I also think about how, like, some of the, even the biblical testament, how the scales fall off of your eyes and stuff like that when you see the truth. So you could be having a lot of, you know, it could be like one of these big things that just is the connecting factor they don't share with anybody. And they're saying, look, I don't just share this stuff with anybody. I hold back. People around me bore me. I don't want to share my pearls with swine. I don't want to give what I've known and understood to just anyone. I can't have those conversations with anyone, is what your person is saying. And that's what's so magical and beautiful about this connection. Next, I have another Four of Earth. And this is a little bit withholding your feelings, but wanting... I feel like wanting things in a certain way to be like a solid foundation. So I feel like they're not going to be gushing. Maybe they might talk to you about like esoteric. I never say that word right properly, but they want to talk to you about like things that you're connecting with energetically before they offer any love to you. They just want to start that conversation because it's easy and fluid in that way. And maybe I feel like that's kind of mutual. Maybe they've been burned. Maybe they're just growing again from situations that kind of pruned their little antlers here. And so it could have been that in the process of creating, they're at a point where they want to stop and reassess and really make sure that they're going to be giving to the right person. So they'll be slow in offering anything romantic. I think that you'll be like, well, really, this person cares about me? But look at how thin those wings are and delicate. This isn't going to take flight for a while. And indeed, I feel like it's going to take a bit for you to see those wings, the potential for you guys to fly together, the potential for this to take off the ground. And that's all energetic. It falls very much in line with what we've been talking so far. What do they like about you? Ten of Cups. They feel like there could be real abundance here. They could have everything. They feel like you are fine. You are fine. They love the look of your ankles, maybe. If you've only met on Zoom or whatever, don't think that this person cannot stalk, okay? Because there are mad skills out there. People, even people that are like higher grade or whatever, they could get their stalking skills on, okay? I do feel like they feel like you bring everything to the table. Like you have everything. You look fine. They wish they could see more of you. but they have to leave. You know, it could be like, right, Zoom meeting's over, the meeting's over, the retreat's over, whatever the case may be, or happy hour's over, wherever it is that they happen to see you. There also could be potentially like something having to do with like a death in their family that they have to kind of go away on a trip for, or something like that that I'm seeing. But you are offering things and you're kind of like, okay, you know, let me just offer. And they definitely want to take, but perhaps something from their past they continue looking at, which is why maybe they're holding back a little bit. So that's what I see about love for you guys. I hope that that is making sense. If it does, please do give me a thumbs up. And go ahead and post any comments that you would like, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. If you like this content, also please subscribe to my channel and do share with whoever you will. But also go ahead and just leave me a message on what else you would like to see. Okay, so with that, much love to you. Namaste. Bye.